Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Damron. We're playing Gears 5. The new Hivebuster DLC campaign was just released. It's pretty fun. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend you check it out. It's a lot of fun. We're going to get all the collectibles and ability upgrades in this video. So let's get right to it. In the first chapter, after you find the pilot up there hanging in the tree, as soon as you drop down right next to this trunk will be our first collectible. Moving on a little bit further, after you see the Condor crash site and you're kind of on this ruined bridge, you'll notice this. You have to take this path, but as soon as you jump down, there's going to be this tree right here on your right hand side. Look on the other side of it for our next collectible. Progressing on away, you're going to be in another crash site, a lot of burning debris. We're going to head to the right hand side. We're going to jump over this log here and we're going to circle around this path, and at the end of the path before we drop down is a collectible coin right here on the ground. Alright, moving on a little bit further, you're going to be opened up to this beautiful scenery. It's very beautiful to look at. You have to take this path, but you're going to take a right, and you're going to head down this path here, and as you drop down, you're going to see a dead Onyx guard up here with a helmet. That is our next collectible. So that's it for chapter 1. So we're moving on to chapter 2. Right in the beginning of the chapter, when you go through the big door, that the big cog door. So this is right in the beginning. As soon as you get in here, go ahead and take your immediate right to go back in this room here. And on the back right of this room, right in front of these lockers on the ground, is our next collectible.
Sanctum was meant to protect the most important cog citizens.
Scholars, politicians.
From that collectible, we're going to head back out to the main hallway, and right in the middle of this area right here next to an open crate is our first ultimate ability upgrade, Keegan's explosive ammo resupply. Progressing on a little bit, you're going to see these vents right here. You're going to get attacked by some DBs. You're supposed to go that way, but before we do, let's head left into this room, and in the back left room is our next collectible.
It's a metal tube buried in volcanic rock.
From this collectible, we're actually going to have Mac interact with a electrical box in order to open a few doors for our next collectibles, and that's right here. This is on your path. So instruct Mac to interact with that, or if you're playing as Mac, you could interact with it yourself. But once you either interact with it or have Mac interact with it, we're actually going to head back to where we just were. So if we head back, you can see the left door is where we had just went to get the other collectible. Once he interacts with that, you'll see the right door will be able to be unlocked. So now we can interact with that keypad. We're going to head in, and to the right hand side is our next ability upgrade, Max Barrier Duration. From here, we're going to head back down where we had Mac interact with that electrical box. And also, after he interacts with that, the door behind him also unlocks. So we're heading back down here. Now this door back here, we can also open. And once we open that, we're going to be able to go in, and to the right-hand side on a coffee table is our next collectible. Shortly after the previous collectible, you're going to come into this room. There's a large drill in the middle. You can't miss it. On the left-hand side, there's another electrical box that Max needs to interact with. When he interacts with that, this door is going to open. You're going to have a little bit of battle. I've cleared it out. But once that's cleared out, you can head back to this, plant room back here and grab our next collectible. From this collectible, we're going to head on to the path that we're supposed to take. It's a nice little greenhouse in here, but we're going to head on to the path that we're supposed to take now. So we're heading to the other side of that drill room. Once we go through this door, you're supposed to go through an elevator shaft that's right in front of you. Before you do that, be sure you grab this ultimate upgrade here on the left. Progressing on, you're going to drop down that elevator shaft. You're going to fight some Locust or Swarm right here. And after that battle's over, we're going to head forward and into this right-hand room for our next collectible. Progressing on a little bit, you're going to have a nice little fight in this room here, but after you've cleared them out, the, environment cooling system will take an effect. The door on the left-hand side will open, and now you can go back to the back left of this room for our next collectible. From this collectible, we're going to head on for our next ability upgrade. So the door in front, the way that we were supposed to go, is now open. So now we're going to go ahead and head right through that. Immediately on the other side of that door are some crates. On the ground next to those crates are our next ability upgrade.
Afraid of dying?
Progressing on, you're going to have a pretty large battle in that room back there, and then eventually after that is over, you're going to go in here and you're supposed to go right to a control panel. Before you do that, head left and all the way around this path to this poster, which is our last collectible of the chapter. Now there's no collectibles in chapter 3, so don't worry about that. We're on to chapter 4, which is a lot of story in the beginning and a lot of collecting, but eventually right in the beginning you head to this area here, and we're going to walk up the stairways onto the right hand side. You'll see this building here. Again, you'll see this, but we're going to go inside this building, and right in front of some bones is our next collectible.
Islands are known for their carvings.
From those bones, let's go ahead and turn around and head back out of the building that we were in, and we're going to head down the stairs. We're supposed to be going straight across the building that's across from us now, but before we do that, slightly to the right and down another set of stairs, turn around to go into this building, and you'll see our next ability upgrade sitting on the ground right in front of you. Now, once we go into the building that we're supposed to go in for the story, this is the next building, basically. You're supposed to go right through those doors, but before that, turn left, go through this doorway or archway, and you're going to find this collectible sitting on a table outside on the balcony.
Yeah, you aren't wrong, Keegan.
Progressing on a little bit into the next area of this kind of fishing camp, this is the way that you have to go. As soon as you come down this path, the first door on your left can be opened, and in that room is going to be our next ability upgrade.
Far from the military. You wanted more.
That's what I fought for, baby.
From that ability upgrade, we're just going to make our way around this dock here. Again, this is the path that you have to take. All right, this isn't in secret area, so just follow this pathway, and as soon as you get to the point that I'm at, you'll see an archway to your left, and as soon as you go into this room, right on the table in front of you that I just walked past is our next collectible.
Books for my birthday, holidays, and books.
Progressing on, you're going to enter into this room here. Again, you will see this is obvious. As soon as you get to this room, look to the right hand side on the ground for our next ability upgrade.
The Temple of
Progressing on a bit, you're actually going to have a fight out here, and after you finish that, before you go into the temple, go to the right hand side, and you're going to find our next ability upgrade all the way back here in some rooms.
That's right.
And then after you pick up that upgrade, you will then go into the temple. As soon as you open the door, right in front of you on a table is our next collectible.
But we need to be.
Progressing on away, you're going to have to run by some juvies. Eventually, you're going to come to this large courtyard area with those doors that you have to go to. Before you go through them, be sure you grab this upgrade right there on the wall to the left. And then a little bit further on, we're going to open up into this area. It's actually a really beautiful scene. The volcano in the distance looks awesome. But you're going to see this area as soon as you regain control. Go ahead and take an immediate right, head back to this path. You can grab a boom shot if you like it, but there's also our next collectible.
God damn.
A little bit further on, we're going to get to a silverback. This is part of the story. You'll come to this room. Before we get in that silverback, be sure you grab this collectible that's sitting right here on this table. So moving on to Chapter 5, there's only one collectible in Chapter 5. You're going to be having quite a bit of fighting before you get to this point, before you get back outside, but eventually you will, and you'll find a carrier that's been melted. And right next to that carrier is a melted swarm skull for our next collectible. So moving on to Chapter 6, as soon as you gain control in Chapter 6, now we can immediately turn around, and there will be a collectible sitting right here in this statue. Progressing on a little bit, you're going to get to this room here with a statue in the middle. On the left hand side is an opening with another collectible sitting right at the foot of the statue in front of you.
I know that feeling. Sometimes there ain't no go.
From that collectible, we're actually just going to head into the next room immediately beside it for our next ability upgrade. Moving on, just on the outside of where we just were, as soon as you kind of come back outside, you're going to be in this nice open scenery. Again, the graphics in this DLC are really beautiful, but we're supposed to go right. Before we do that, head straight back to this broken bridge, and on the left-hand side of that broken bridge is our next ability upgrade. Moving on, again, you're going to open a door and see just a beautiful scenery again. It's a beautiful distance. You know, this shot is really awesome, but once you see that, you know you're in the right place. We're going to head down this stairway, and we're going to keep going down the path that we're supposed to take. And once we get down the second set of stairs, we take a right into this room here, and we're going to head straight back. And as soon as we get into the next room, look immediately to your left to see your next collectible stuck in the root of this tree here. From this collectible, immediately just turn around for our last ability upgrade of the game. So if you're following this guide, you should get the achievement for all of the ability upgrades at this point. Moving on a little bit further, you're going to have a fight in front of this kind of crashed Condor. Eventually you go through the wreckage. Once you get into the ship, just head to the right hand side for our next collectible sitting in that open case there. A little bit further on, not too far, we're going to be back outside, and you're going to go under a Condor wing. You'll drop down. You can go left or right. Go to the right and hang kind of hug the right wall, and you'll find this collectible right on the ground here. So that's the last collectible of the Hivebuster DLC. I hope you found this helpful, and hopefully I'll see you in another one of my videos. XxDAMRONxx out.